Heads up.
Afternoon, everyone. From the beginning of this Congress, House Democrats have made clear that we will work with anyone in order to make life better for the American people, particularly as it relates to building an affordable economy and addressing the high cost of living in the United States of America. Unfortunately, from the very beginning, the Trump administration and House Republicans have chosen a different path. The far-right extremists continue to crash the economy in real time, have failed to address the high cost of living, and are driving America toward a painful recession. The first 100 days of the Trump administration have been characterized by chaos, cruelty, and corruption. America is better than this. We should be able to do better for the American people. Trump administration has failed, and Republicans in Congress are behaving like a useless rubber stamp and allowing extremism to hurt the American people. Now is a moment of truth. Will a handful of House Republicans step up on behalf of the American people and prevent the largest Medicaid cut in American history? Will House Republicans stand up for the veterans of America? Will House Republicans stand up and stop this effort to take food out of the mouths of children in the United States of America? Now is a time to choose. Republicans have been on the run, but they can no longer hide. And House Democrats are going to make clear over the next few weeks what's at stake with this reckless Republican effort to jam their extreme budget down the throats of the American people. Questions?
Thank you, Leader. Congressman Henry Cuellar suggested recently that House Democrats made a mistake rallying around the deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who the Trump administration has accused of being a member of MS-13. What is your reaction to the congressman's statement, and would you encourage any other House Democrats to go to El Salvador to protest against the detention of Abrego Garcia?
Our reaction is that Donald Trump has the lowest public approval rating of any president in modern American history.
Thank you. Congressman Connolly announced earlier today that he'll be stepping back soon as the Oversight Committee ranking member. I'm wondering what you expect as the timeline for selecting a replacement and whether you'll be endorsing a replacement for the
It's a
ranking
sad day. We will miss Jerry and his service upon his retirement from the United States Congress. And he has been a tremendous leader for his district and on the Oversight Committee.
Leader Jeffries, can I get your reaction, please, to Republicans considering a specific proposal on Medicaid, reducing the FMAP from 90% for the Medicaid expansion population? What would it mean for New York if they do that? And do you see that as a threat to ACA, given that that was one of the key components?
Healthcare is under assault by Donald Trump, Elon Musk, the administration, and rubber stamp Republicans in the House and in the Senate. These people, these extremists, they want to take health care away from the American people. And they know that their constituents aren't here for it, which is why Republicans have been on the run during the last 2 weeks during the district work period. Democrats are leaning in to town hall meetings all across America. Republicans are running away from them. But now there's a moment of accountability. And in terms of this FMAP proposal, it's all part of the same scheme. They want to end Medicaid as we know it. They're going to hurt children, hurt families, hurt seniors, hurt people with disabilities, close hospitals, shut down nursing homes, and people will die. This is a matter of life and death at this moment, which is why it's all hands on deck. And we're going to continue to show up, stand up, and speak up in a variety of ways, inside the Capitol, outside the Capitol, on the Capitol steps, in Democratic districts, in Republican districts, and throughout America.
I want to ask about your sit-in on the steps yesterday. I mean, it's a slightly different approach to messaging than we've seen from you in the past. Could you explain why you're taking that approach?
Well, the event that took place on the Capitol steps speaks for itself. And it certainly was done, as we repeatedly mentioned yesterday in communicating with millions of Americans who were watching, that we're standing on the shoulders of great leaders like John Lewis. Many of us, as we are navigating through these challenging times, will ask the question, what will John Lewis have done? And in this particular instance, when the health care of the American people was threatened, we know the answer. In 2017, when Republicans were trying to repeal and displace the Affordable Care Act, John Lewis took to the steps of the United States Senate, sat down, and had a conversation with the American people as part of the effort to stop the repeal of the Affordable Care Act. We're going to continue to ask the question, what would John Lewis do in this moment? And it's clear that he would say, never give up, never give in. Go out there and get into some good trouble. That's why we sat down on the Capitol steps yesterday, just two of us, great leadership from Senator Booker, and we saw how the American people responded.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. You characterized the president's first 100 days as a failure. I wanted to get your thoughts. It's been a few weeks after Congress's 100-day mark. What are your thoughts on how House Democrats, how congressional Democrats as a whole have responded to this failure? You say that you all are communicating in different ways. You just spoke about the sit-in. You say we're going to see more in the upcoming weeks. How would you characterize or reflect on how House Democrats have responded to this moment over the past 100+ days?
Well, one, a lot that we'll continue to do has to do with timing and the rhythm of the legislative process and how we engage in making sure that we are aggressively pushing back when the moment presents itself so that we can defeat the reckless Republican efforts to hurt the American people. We continue to be in a more is more environment. Not less is more, a more is more environment. Rallies, press conferences, demonstrations, sit-ins, town hall meetings in Democratic districts, town hall meetings in Republican districts, days of action. More will continue to be more, including, by the way, Democratic-led steering and policy hearings. We've now had 4 in the Capitol, and we'll be traveling the country. More is more. And that's, I think, what you've seen over the last 100 days, and that's what you'll continue to see.
Do you think these efforts have helped to crater some of Trump's popularity? His approval seems to be going down, and 4 polls yesterday show that his approval continues to go down. Do you take any credit for what's been happening in public opinion over the last few weeks as it pertains to Trump's economic numbers?
It's a great question. What we said from the very beginning is that Donald Trump lied about his willingness to lower costs in America and drive down the high cost of living. We said that from the very beginning, and that we had them on the run on the economy, on health care, and Social Security, with the economy being first amongst equals, while at the same time, of course, defending freedom, liberty, justice, and due process in the United States of America, and will continue to do that. But Donald Trump made a core promise to the American people. He was going to lower costs on day one. Costs aren't going down. they're going up. Inflation is on the way up. Donald Trump is crashing the economy. And Republicans in the Congress, these rubber stamp Republicans, are actively letting it happen. And that's why the American people have said, inside of 100 days, enough. This is a disaster. It's an unmitigated disaster. This guy has the lowest approval rating of any president in modern American history inside of 100 days. That's extraordinary. This is the same group that bragged to all of you and the American people that they had some extraordinary mandate. We said from the very beginning there was no mandate. News of our demise was greatly exaggerated.
Thank you, Leader. President Trump came out in support or signaled support for a stock trade ban. I know that's something that you've been supportive of. Do you think that this builds momentum? Have you had any conversations with GOP leadership about this? Where do you think this stands now with the president's support?
His support is meaningless as it relates to Democrats in the United States Congress.
You've said that you're going to support incumbents who are facing primary challenges. Some of your members don't believe that David Hogg can serve as a DNC vice chair while simultaneously supporting those primary challenges. Do you agree with that?
My statement on this issue, which was extensive, speaks for itself.
Thank you, Leader Jeffries. I wanted to just follow up on a question asked earlier about Connolly. Can you speak more specifically just to the process of replacing him as ranking member of oversight? We know that, AOC ran late last year, and should she be in contention again?
So Republicans are trying to rip away health care from the American people. They're crashing the economy in real time, driving us toward a recession, targeting law-abiding immigrant families, trying to erase and whitewash American history, including black history and civil rights history. They are ending Social Security as we know it, and Jerry Connolly just announced that because he is battling the recurrence of cancer, he will not be seeking re-election. That's the extent of any comment that I want to make about the great Jerry Connolly at this moment.
Thank you, Leader. Related to protests, the Reverend William Barber and other prominent faith leaders were just arrested in the Capitol Rotunda today. You spoke about the legacy of John Lewis. What acts of civil disobedience should members engage in or endorse? And do you specifically endorse the protest that William Barber was making, which was...
We're in a more is more environment, and Reverend Barber spoke powerfully at the sit-in yesterday.
Thank you, Leader. Congressman Thandar introduced 7 articles of impeachment today against President Trump. Given that Dems are out with messaging on other fronts, is introducing articles of impeachment an effective way of messaging, given that the numbers are just not on your side right now in the House?
Haven't talked to him about it.
Sam just stole my impeachment question, but
Same answer.
I'll follow up. If leadership is not supporting those efforts, are you actively discouraging members introducing articles? This isn't the first member so far that has introduced or said they would introduce articles.
I haven't said one way or the other. I haven't evaluated the articles that were introduced. I haven't even had an opportunity to talk with him about it.
Thank you. Immediately after the presidential election, I think there were some Democrats who thought we should look for areas of agreement. You've even said that there could be areas that benefit the American people. You look for agreement. The president clearly has not made that outreach to Democrats. Does that influence your posture and this more is more approach, the way that he's conducted his presidency in these first 100 days?
The first 100 days have been a failure for the American people. I spoke on the House floor on January 3rd and indicated that we were prepared to try to make life better for the American people, particularly as it relates to driving down the high cost of living. But it became very clear at the outset that Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and compliant House Republicans, rubber stamp Republicans in the Congress had no interest in the world in addressing the cost of living crisis that we have in the United States of America. Now, what's interesting about that is that they spent all of last year, 2024, saying it was their top priority and that Republicans were going to bring about the golden age of America, which presumably meant they were going to improve the economy for the American people. They haven't introduced a single bill, let alone pass one, and bring it to the floor to make life better for the American people. Not a single bill. Not a single executive action or administrative order has actually been issued that brings down the cost of living in the United States of America. It's a failure. And the American people have taken notice. This, in fact, began in late February, but now it's so clear and so obvious that no one can ignore it. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.